Hey there, welcome to another episode of History with Elroy. Happy San Jacinto Day. San Jacinto Day is a day that's celebrated in Texas because it's the day that the Texans beat the Mexican army and won their independence. Now, to really understand San Jacinto Day, we have to go back. Now, San Jacinto Day happened on 1836 on the 21st of April, today. Unless you're watching on a different day, like August something. But if you're watching on April 21st, then that's the day it happened, and it's today. But anyways, we have to go back to 1825. Now this is the year that the Mexican government allowed settlers to come into Mexico. A lot of these came from America, but some came from other areas as well. And when I say America, I'm talking about the United States of America. Now anyways, why did the Mexicans let these settlers in? Well, what they wanted is there were some issues with some Native American tribes, the Comanche particularly. Now the Comanche were amazing fighters, very good fighters and very fierce. And they would come in and burn down homesteads and just wreak havoc on people. And so the Mexicans thought it would be a good idea if we had a buffer on our north side. And so they invited the settlers in. And the settlers understood the risks, but they figured it was worth it because they would get good land of their own. Now, in the 1830s, a man named Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna came into power in Mexico. And you see, around this time, the settlers came to him and came to the Mexican government and they said, okay, here's the deal. You guys have put a bunch of taxes on us and we don't want these, or they call them tariffs. We don't want these. Also, we want to be an independent state within the country of Mexico. Now you see, at the time, in order to be a state in Mexico, you needed 80,000 people, a population of that. And the Texas only had 30. So, Santa Anna said no on both accounts. The Texans didn't like this at all. And so they said, you know what? Why don't we fight for our independence? So, what's important to understand about San Jacinto is you have to understand a few notable battles that happened beforehand. So in 1836, on February 23rd, the Mexican army laid siege to the Alamo. Now the Alamo has some notable characters in it, like Davy Crockett and William Travis and James Bowie of the Bowie knife. What a cool knife. Anyways, those guys all fought at the Alamo. Now 13 days later, on March 6th, the Alamo was taken. And the important thing to remember with the Alamo is that Santa Anna decided he was very angry that these people would rebel against him. And so he would give no quarter. Now that means that there was no surrender. If you fought in that battle, then there will be no going home for you. And so because of that, all the defenders of the Alamo died. Well, most of all, but one or two got away. But that was about 182 against 2,000 Mexicans. So it was amazing odds that they held out that long. Now, 3 weeks later at Goliad, Santa Anna did the same thing. He captured a large group of Texans and he had them all executed, which is really sad. Now, the rest of the Texans really wanted to fight because they were mad about all this. But Sam Houston, who was a pretty smart guy and is also who the city of Houston is named after, thought, you know what? I want to pick my battleground. I'll fight this guy, but I need to decide where I'm going to fight, and I need to fight on my terms. And so he kept going along, and Santa Anna was pursuing him. Now Santa Anna thought, this guy's running away. This is going to be easy. So on April 20th, Sam Houston finally saw a plot of ground that he liked. And he thought, I will make camp here and fight here tomorrow. And there, things will be decided of great importance. So So Santa Anna camped across the way. Now the next day came, and it was about noon, and the Texans hadn't attacked yet. And so Santa Anna said, you know what, guys, why don't we all take a nap? This really happened. It's crazy. So he took a nap and didn't post any sentries. Now there were about 1,300 of the Mexicans and about 950 of the Texans. Now the Texans attacked soon after the nap was commenced, or siesta, as they call it. And the battle didn't last very long. It lasted only 18 minutes. And only 11 Texans died and 650 Mexicans died. Now, the Texans were very angry because of the Alamo. And so as they were charging, you could hear them saying things like, remember the Alamo and remember Goliad. And so that day, a great victory for the Texans was won. Now, the next day, they were able to capture Santa Anna. He had dressed up as a private and was hiding with his men. But his men recognized him, and out of habit, they immediately saluted him. I bet he was pretty mad at those guys. I mean, they said, come on, guys, don't salute me, what are you doing? Anyways, because of that, the Texans were able to use him to gain peace with the rest of the Mexican army, because there were a lot more guys in the Mexican army that weren't there, like 4,000. And because of that, Texas won its independence. And then later, a couple decades later, Texas joined the United States of America. So that, my friends, is the history of San Jacinto Day. What a cool day. Another cool thing about April 21st is this is the day that the Texas Aggies celebrate muster. Muster's a pretty cool day where they celebrate the Aggies that have departed. Now anyways, I can talk more about that in a different one. But thanks for watching another episode of History with Elroy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And happy San Jacinto Day. See ya.